We appreciate you getting up early for those of us guys over here.
You're most welcome. Yeah. Oh, hello, Vin. How are you?
Good, well, thanks.
Good, good. Mike, are you still shooting the 6.5?
Yes, I am. Actually, last year I also got a 44 Magnum. Again, I'm real short range up in tree stands, and I got a 44 Magnum carbine last year that I have not shot anything with yet.
Okay. What breed of rifle is it?
I got that Smith & Wesson, the 1895 lever.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Nice. And what are you going to be running through it?
I'm running Hornady 200 grain XTP.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah, that'll do the job. Yeah, really nice. Ah, very good. And how have you been, Vernon?
I've been well, thank you. Didn't get much shooting done over the summer because it's just too darn hot here to do any load film.
Yeah, yeah, it happens, hey?
Yeah, so I'm just, it's cool out now, so I think the next couple of weeks I'll be going through a bit of gunpowder.
Oh, right. Very nice. Very nice. Well, we get to hunt here all year round, but when you do hunt in the summer, blowflies they just cover everything immediately. You're just constantly fighting the blowflies, so yeah, no fun. And range work's no fun either when you're wanting to really get busy and there's just mirage everywhere and yeah, sweat running into your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just heading into summer now, so but anyway, you make the most of it. Yeah. Hello, Jim. How are you?
Good.
Good, good. Sorry, Vernon, I interrupted you.
No, so it's anxious for hunting season to start here because we have a total of 5 elk draws between our families.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. And then, interestingly enough, we have a buffalo population in northern Alberta, and they're wanting to keep the population down a little bit.
Okay.
They want 400 to 600 head.
Yeah.
So they're over that, so they've opened up a lottery to be able to go up there and hunt buffalo from December to February.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think I might put in for that, but man, is it hostile territory up there? It's just south of the Northwest Territories, and it's like hunting in Alaska.
Yeah, right. They're not asking you to run them down with a 40-pound flat bow on horseback, are they?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Oh, good. Oh, yeah, well, hopefully. So you've put in for that, but you're just waiting to hear back, huh?
I'm going to put in for it. I've just been deciding, am I going to be tough enough to withstand that extreme temperatures up there, because there's no roads and poor cell service. So you rely on sat communications and
yeah, okay.
And I don't drive a snowmobile or anything like that, so it'll be all walking. So
all right.
Yeah, so, you got to be pretty fit to be able to do that type of a hunt.
Yeah, so it'll be heavy snow by the time it comes around, huh?
Quite.
Okay, wow.
Snow,
yeah. So, yeah. yeah, right. Goodness, yeah, that sounds like a hell of a challenge. Yeah. Morning, Isaac. How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you, Nathan?
Good, thanks. Good. Where are you based?
I'm from Alberta.
Oh. Oh.
Originally from the States. I grew up in California, but
okay.
Moved to Alberta.
Yeah. Good move.
Yeah, everybody thinks I'm nuts. They're probably right.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah. Should I say why I'm on here?
No.
I've been following your information for quite a while, Nathan.
Yeah.
Ran across Terminal Ballistics Research, your website, probably, I don't know, it might be 15 years ago almost.
Okay.
Just because of my interest in rifle ballistics, and
yeah.
I've always been interested in guns, but So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the website's been going for a while now, hasn't it? Quite a while. It's the hardest thing is contemplating updating, getting the updates on it. It's just, it was such a behemoth to get it all written out in the first place, and then since then my work's gone into the books, and so that's where I tend to write the newer cartridges, but some don't make it into the books either. And it doesn't mean to say I haven't been testing them, but it's just, you can only do so much. That first body of work, I think there was only 50 something cartridges, but there were so many loads to test, and it took years to get all of that done and to get it written down. And then I'm getting older now, so to go all the way back through it again with all the new loads, it's almost too much. But at the same time, the foundation's there in the knowledge base. Like if you can understand the knowledge base, and once you get a feel for it, you can interpolate data, and through the books as well. I mean, once you realise that for instance, the ELDX is similar to the SST, and then you can start, fitting it all together, how it all works. But yeah, but at some stage I do need to go back in and start updating that knowledge base, and even if I just write it as updates at the very bottom of each article, that probably would be useful. And then start adding in some of the newer cartridges. But then some of the newer cartridges, they just annoy me because they just cover ground which has already been covered before, Yeah. Oh, there's a few little changes, like they'll make a new cartridge with a faster twist barrel, and that does add a bit of dimension to it. But in other ways, it's just like, oh, really, you're going to do this all over again? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of started with the 6.5 Creedmoor, where you've got all that data there from the 260 Remington and the 6.5 by 55, and it's like, oh gosh, you're going to go back through the whole lot over again. But yeah, anyway, there should be enough information there for people to use it with the newer cartridges that are coming out. So yeah. But as you get older, it certainly doesn't get easier, getting around in the hills. Like the things I was doing when I wrote that was incredible. Like I'd have one rifle over each shoulder because I wanted, say I wanted to get two particular shots. Yeah, that interested me. Like I mean, normally you'd hunt with one rifle and one load, and you'd get those results with that, but there was times there where I want these two particular results, and so I would say shoot two pigs and then carry the two out, and that might be two trips, with a pig over my shoulders and then back, and get the other pig and back, and the second rifle. Or I might try and carry both pigs out at once and try and sort of rope them all on and with two rifles. And when you're young and you're strong, you can really, really push yourself. But as you get older, you can't sort of go quite to that pace anymore. But anyway, I'll keep trying. Yeah.
Well, even then, you must have been sore all the time.
Yeah, I was strong, and I never really appreciated how muscular I was, because I wasn't bodybuilder. I didn't look like a bodybuilder. And it's only looking back now, and looking at the younger ones coming through, and that's quite sad by comparison, But yeah, you don't, and that's often what we do in our lives. We don't sort of appreciate some of our achievements, no matter how small or how big. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I was bloody strong. That's for real. Yeah.
Well, I bought a deer cart finally this year, so don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. After dragging a 300-pound whitetail buck out last year it was only 500 yards, but it was 500 yards over 300 logs. So.
Oh shit! Yeah, grueling. Absolutely grueling. Yeah. Yeah, I've had some pretty big carryouts myself, or cattle beasts and things like that. You just sort of go, even one limb of a cattle beast, and it absolutely stuffs you. by the time you've done several trips backwards and forwards, it's like, why the hell do I do this? And then you get it home and 3 months later discover that the whole thing was too bloody tough and needs to be made into mince. Yeah. So, dear. Yeah. Do we have any gun questions today? Or are we just going to shoot the breeze? Yeah.
I have an update if you want.
Yeah. On the 35s?
Back in, on the 358.
Yeah.
So I was able to get it bedded nicely the way you had suggested with the silicone on the forestock.
Yeah.
I recapped and redid the threads on that forestock screw so I could have a nice solid mount there.
Yeah.
And then I went back through my loads and redid them as well.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, I ended up at 225 grain Sierra.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting what is it now? 1.65 inch groupings.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
10.
Yeah.
So, and I was getting about 2.5, and then what I did is I followed your instructions in the accurizing book, and I polished up the barrel because it was a rebore.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of tooling marks.
Yeah. Okay.
Drill bits and stuff. So I did that, and so then that's when I ended up getting that 1.5 inch.
Okay. Just for people who are not familiar with it, what was the breed of rifle again?
It's a Savage Model 99 lever action.
Yeah.
With the 24-inch barrel, and I wanted a larger bore instead of a 300 or a 308. I wanted to step it up to a 358. So I took it in to get it rebored the barrel.
Yeah.
And just used that. So my next step now, if I want it more accurate than it is now, then I would rebarrel it because I think that right now it's at the limit of what that rebored barrel is able to produce for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can actually get away with quite a bit of lapping, but once that fouling goes away completely and it's starting to get that when it changes that coefficient of friction, there is a point where it starts to become finicky again because the resistance isn't consistent as the bullet's traveling down the bore. So you do want that consistency, that little wee bit of coarseness in there. But if you're noticing that it does come down, you can keep going with it and keep test shooting. It doesn't just suddenly, the accuracy won't suddenly go away. It'll just come down with each lap, and then it'll sit there. Unless you actually damage the muzzle doing it, I mean that will of course stuff things up. But if you can keep the muzzle protected, so that's the bit that you don't really get to polish, that last little bit of it, you can actually give the bore quite a good hurry up, really. But for what you're wanting from that rifle, that's pretty good, isn't it? Okay.
Oh, it's excellent. Yeah, I was thrilled to see.
Now, you're shooting open sight, peep sights, or with a scope?
So because this gun is also for bear protection, I have the see-through scope mount where the sights underneath. So it's not ideal for long range shooting, but again, my long range for that might be 200 yards. If there's a bear running at 50 yards, it won't be looking through the scope. It'll be looking through the optical open sight.
So 1.5 with that. That's pretty good. I do find that with the rifles, which have got quite a bit of pitch, to the butt. If you put high mounts on them, they are very hard to actually to have that consistency in the group. So sometimes the grouping is affected by that lack of cheek weld. It doesn't take much, and you can actually get them. They can be double grouping, and they can cause problems in that way. So it doesn't take much to actually upset things if the scope mounts are quite high with that setup. So just be aware of that. Sometimes you can put on a really big cheek wallet, like a pouch, and then you can rip that off quickly. When you want to use the open sights, before you set out, and if it's snowing and crap, you get set up for it. So if you needed to, yeah. But anyway, if you're doing 1.5 inches and you're consistent with it, then that's great. With that type of setup, I think that's pretty good actually. Yeah.
Well, and I noticed that changing the hold on the gun, like holding it at the receiver where the magazine is in the internal magazine, or doing that scope hold like you do, with your hands over the top turret and holding it down on the sandbag.
Yeah.
Going between those two holds, it changes the grouping. So most accurate is holding on the scope and then keeping it vertical.
Okay. Yeah, you'll have to have the one method too, because holding the scope, of course, it's not practical for a carry type rifle. So, and that one you wouldn't use a sling either. So you're without a sling and then just supporting it close to the receiver, and but at least with those tests you kind of know where you're at, what its potential actually is, and so forth. Yeah. The scope hold is hard to get consistent.
I spent a lot of time. I did 200 grains, 225, 250s, and 185. So I did those for all of them. So I spent probably a good month on shooting that rifle just to give it the time that it deserved. So it's I guess that's where my spring shooting all went to, with that one rifle.
But it builds trust in the rifle. By the day you actually need to use it, you'll be able to use it. It'll be quite effective.
There's my update.
Right. And what's everyone else been up to? No projects from anyone?
My reason for joining today, I've been into guns all my life, but I decided I want to start a gunsmithing business. From home. So I'm considering that I need some training. I'm considering the American Gunsmithing Institute's online program. I was wondering if anybody has some ideas on that.
They are a pretty prestigious organisation. My books are used, my accurizing book and reloading book are used by the Sonora Desert Institute. So they've got a gunsmithing program, and that's you do. It's long distance, so you do that from home. But up until recently, there's been a limit to that. Like, you're not getting your hands on a lathe. You're not actually working with it. So you're only learning up to a point. But they are actually starting a machine shop course to, I think, to compete with the American Gunsmithing Institute. But really, it's there's some. If you can get your hands on a lathe, on a smaller size lathe, you don't need a big one for now. And there's a lot of tooling that's specific, to gunsmithing, which helps make life a lot easier, which you can pick up from the likes of Manson, Remus, and so forth. And so you can just get straight into it. And then as far as machine shop, have you got machine shop experience?
No.
Well, you just start, you start with YouTube these days. Like, I would start with someone, there's a young lady in America, she has a channel called Blondie Hacks, and she can get you started going back through all the basics and get you going. But really, the lathe size, a 1340 lathe would be about the right size for you. And maybe if you get one of the Taiwanese lathes, that would be the way to go. It doesn't have to be brand new, as long as it's in good condition. It could be from the mid-1980s, something like that. And
you were saying like about a 10 by 40? Is that what you're saying?
13 by 40.
Oh, okay. 13 by 40.
13, So that will, it's big enough that you can stick the barrel through it, but it's not so big that you can't get the barrel out the other end. And so just about that size would be nice. But you don't have to have the latest and fanciest gear. You can just work with those things. You don't have to have all the stuff that there's videos out there of guys and they're pushing this gear, but they're just pushing into debt. You don't, when you're starting, you don't really need that. So you just want to, some older guy who's decided he's had enough and he wants to, he needs to get rid of it because it's cluttering up the house and he wants to go into a smaller retirement village or something like that. That's what you want in that lathe. Made in Taiwan probably, and just make sure that there's not too much rust in the bed. And and then you can start slowly picking up. You can watch those YouTube videos, but like again, that Blondie hacks would be good. And then if you go to like the school that you're talking about, that's great, But there are. You can go too far. You can overanalyze with it too. So you can just keep it really simple. Like you've got people with DTI set up on the tailstock and all this sort of carrying. Well, a lot of the time you don't need that. You can just get by without all of that stuff. You just keep it nice and simple. Yeah. So anyway, that's later. For now, I start talking about lathes, and there's no need for that right now. You're just sort of getting a feel for it. But if you want to do that, do it. It's
I have most of your books gone through a lot of the material that you have. I bedded a rifle a few years ago with a max grade bedding compound, which you can't get here anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Looking for an importer, maybe someone who's starting up a gunsmithing business.
Maybe. If I could.
Yeah. Well, that's the way to start. You start them first with, you can just do the accurizing first, and then there's actually quite a few guys who are just doing gun cleaning because people don't even know how to clean a gun anymore. But you can go the next step. You do the accurizing, but my advice on that is it's not easy. It's like you're working long hours for this really small goal. Like Vernon's just talking about the whole of spring trying to get one rifle set up right. And so on the one hand, you're really, really conscientious. You have to be conscientious to do this, because what's the point of the person bringing the gun to you is that they want this thing to perform better than it was before they brought it to you. So you have to take it to that next level. And so as you're trying to work through it, and you start finding problems, sometimes your hourly rate starts to come down and down. But so then you've got to be clear on your goals. Like one is the goal of finances. Sure, there's money, but if someone just wants to make money, gunsmithing isn't right for them. It's got to be that interest, and that you're trying to do this stupid thing of putting 2 or 3 little tiny bits of metal close together on a piece of paper at distance, where no one else would want to do that. But it's something inside you that other people don't have, if that's what motivates you. And it's that striving for perfection, but constantly having to deal with failure. And that's I think a key part of it is you're constantly failing all the time, but you're working towards.
I'm used to that.
Yeah. So, but anyway, you start with bedding, and then consultations, and you can start putting bits together. And if you know in the beginning, if you know of someone who does rebarreling work that you can work with, if you do this rifle. So let's say guy brings in the rifle and it's shooting all over the place. You don't immediately bed it. You have a look at it, go through its fit. You might just do a few things to get its fit right, say some mock bedding, or just alleviating it here and there. Test shoot it and study it, or put a bore scope there. And if you find that the bore's really stuffed, then it goes to a gunsmith who can do the rebarreling. He puts the new barrel on, comes back to you, you carry on until you get it to that point. So there's different ways to approach it. You wouldn't always just immediately bed a rifle, because sometimes that can get you in trouble because you give it back to them, it's not as good as they were hoping for. So but there's ways and means to do it without having to get into actual machine shop work yourself. But then later on, if you want to do that, then you can move on to it. But I've got friends, peers I'll call them now, where that's how they've started out. So that's low investment, you just in the basement of your house, just pottering away, and
very little space right now, but
I
don't want to get started. So
it's your reputation is the key. So if you just stick to that that good workmanship, and those methods in the book where you're making sure you're relieving the right areas, you're bedding the right areas, but you're relieving the right areas. That's key.
Yeah.
It's understanding the physics of it, not just doing something because that's the way it's always been done. Because in some cases it wasn't always done that way. It's getting a true understanding of what are we trying to achieve here. Yeah.
Or maybe it's been done wrong for years too.
Yeah, that's right.
In some cases.
Some cases, yeah, but I think a lot of the time it's that we've forgotten things. I don't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a key to it.
Yeah.
There's so much, when I go back looking over things, and I think I'm so smart because I worked something out, and I read something from 1890, and they had this well figured out, and it's like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just covering the old ground.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, well, if you need help along the way, just get in touch, and I'll try and help you out wherever. Yeah.
Okay.
And this type of format here, even just one-on-one, it's easier than writing sometimes. You can just zip through it quite quickly,
Yeah.
And you can share the screen, show a rifle, show what's going wrong with it.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. Who else have we got on here today? We've got a few guys on. Does anyone else have any questions? Do you see in my, I wrote in that newsletter about shooting the XTP backwards. Yeah, so I was thinking, I was going to redo that test just to show hydraulic force, because we've got people coming out with all these buzzwords now, and I wanted to get some more data on that. So I took out the Bushmaster and I thought, if I just put the bullet in backwards, it just shows directly, what it's like forwards versus backwards. And instead, it completely expanded. It was amazing. It's a beautiful reverse mushroom. It's the strangest looking thing. But it certainly didn't penetrate very far, so I had to scratch that. I took some photos though, got some photos, scratched that, and then went back to a spare gold dot, because of that bonding, it won't expand. And and just was able to show, I think the wound was about 2 inches in diameter through the lungs. Yeah, and that's just firing it backwards. Yeah, amazing, eh? Close range hydraulic force is about 2,000 feet per second. Yeah. Let's see, no one's got any particular questions today. Well, that's all right.
I have one, Nathan.
Yeah.
I have one, Nathan. So I picked up a P17 in 358, or the 35 Wayland Acme Improved.
Oh, lovely.
And haven't done anything with it yet. But that particular rifle, is it worthwhile keeping it, or should I be looking at a newer action? Overall, it's in good shape. The barrel's in good shape. But I just haven't fired it yet. I didn't want to spend too much time on it, but I thought I'd ask your opinion on that particular rifle.
I tend to, first of all, if it's been drilled and tapped, you want to check that it's been done properly, because sometimes they've drilled, it's skewed. And so that's the first thing. I've got one here that's like that. It's been drilled and tapped incorrectly, and it's a bit of a mess. And then just check your wood all over for splits, and just see what they've done with the wood. Sometimes when they spauterize them, they really, really butcher them. And if everything looks really good on it, then why not keep it? I mean, it's a bit heavier, it's a bit clunkier, but it's a classic rifle, really. Yeah.
And that's what the draw was to it, is to have a classic rifle, because there's always new ones that are out there and stuff, but there's just something about using an old rifle that is still relevant today, and putting it through the paces.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the basic checks that I would do on it anyway. I've seen one or two where they've brought them back to 3006 again and tidied them right up, and they look wonderful when they're done properly.
Yeah. And with those rifles, are there any aftermarket stock that you would recommend, or just?
Yeah, there is actually. I would recommend the Boyds because just the simple classic laminate it's inexpensive. You can do the bedding on it yourself, and it comes up nice, and it just looks nice with that particular receiver. It just comes together really nicely. Yeah, the laminated walnut. Yeah.
I looked at those and I thought, well, I'll ask the question just before proceeding down that road with that particular gun.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
It is a bit heavy though, but then if would you really want to put a carbon fibre stock on that rifle, or something like that? I would rather have that. Yeah, I mean, you can put classic, another wooden stock on it would be a little bit lighter than laminate, but the Boyds is a simple, inexpensive option for it. Yeah, and then
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, bed it and away you go. No thumb hole, nothing like that. Just a simple, clean. Yeah, and probably not even with a lacquer on the outside. Just put some tung oil on it yourself, or because they do get a bit slippery, the Boyds, unless you want to get them to checker it for you or something like that. Yeah.
Question about the Boyds. Sorry to jump in on your thing there. Have you ever? I've noticed. I got it just as an inexpensive version is a pawn store find that I'm trying to. I find it's a good way to practice to get a $300, whatever, and kind of do some things. And I noticed they are heavy. Have you ever experimented with anything like trying to? Sorry, my video is off. I'm in the middle of nowhere.
You're all right.
Have you ever tried to lighten those stocks at all? Is it worth it? Because I think they're strong enough for a lot of other tasks. I mean, I don't know. You could put speed holes is the wrong word, but I thought, well, you could bore out the butt, but then that's going to weaken it. Is there anything like epoxy or putting aluminum in there? This is
it's my thinking. Yeah, same as you, where you think I can drill here and drill there, but really I'm not going to change the overall weight of it because it's the epoxy all the way through the stock, which is getting the weight into it. It is what it is, really. If you thin the outside of it, which is what has been done with rifles in the past, you start losing your grip area, and then the rifle becomes difficult to shoot. So, no, I think it just is what it is.
I mean, and it's pounds. I just need to have better. It's not going to be a mountain rifle.
Yeah.
Or I just need to get better fitness.
Yeah. Well, with that, if you truly want a mountain rifle, then I think going to carbon fibre these days is the way to go. Plastics themselves can get quite heavy. Yeah, the Boyds is great, but it does have its limits. Yeah.
I just kind of have a fetish of polishing a turd, so to speak.
Yeah.
I like taking something that's cheaper, and affordable, and making it good. Just I don't know why, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, it can be quite enjoyable. There is a limit to it, of course, with some of the older stuff, which is a bit rattly and rusty and falling apart. But then again, you get the new rifles like the Ruger American, and at least the first model, and you're just about guaranteed a jam with every shot. So
right, and I've prettied up one of those too. But once you get it going, it's pretty nice actually. But it's just again. Also budget limits too. Yeah, it's good just doing the work yourself, isn't it? And actually challenging yourself to see how you can get these things shooting. Yeah. Well, and when you amateur gunsmith and really screw something up, you're not doing it on a $1,500 rifle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, quite true. In that, I do like to work with really, if you're going to go that way, it's nice to work with a really basic action layout, receiver layout, like a Hauer. They're nice to work with. If you can pick something up like that quite cheap, and you start fiddling around with those, they can be good project rifles. But,
in the States, at least, they seem to have gotten really popular. They've gone up about I noticed 20 or 40% depending on where you try to buy
Oh
them.
no, yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
and the cost of steel has gone up since 2020. Cost of everything's gone up, hasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, the one I'm wary of the most, I think, is doing up these days is doing up military bolt actions, because you've got all that literature from the old days about getting a Mauser or an Enfield or something like that and tricking it up. But now when you actually get to these rifles, so many people have butchered them around the scope mounts and through the stocks, and then the barrels are getting rusty. That I don't think it's no longer a viable project in the way that it was in the old days. Yeah, so you do have to be a bit wary. Like with the one that you've got there, Vernon, you've gone over it. It looks pretty good. Yeah, you're good to go. But what I'm seeing here is, and it is from amateur gunsmiths, unfortunately, but it's just that rough workmanship and not being able to line it up and jig it up properly before it went in for having its scope bases drilled and so forth. That's where you really get into trouble. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Oh,
Nathan?
Yeah.
Jim in Alaska. How you doing?
Good, thanks, Jim. How are you going?
I'm doing well. We've having a beautiful autumn here, so lots of mountain bird hunting. It's been lovely. Hey, I have a brief tale of woe.
Yeah.
If I could share that.
Yeah, go for it.
So this occurred to me, and as I was going through the process to resolve my problems, I thought to myself, what would Nathan do? And then I thought, no, what would Nathan think? So I'll tell you the deal, and then you tell me what you think. So you might remember I had an old Sendero 7 Rem Mag, and that's my mountain rifle. So and that thing weighs a ton, but I ended up parting ways with it, and I just bought myself a new Tikka T3X Roughneck 7mm Rem Mag.
Yeah.
And the gun shop owner is a buddy, and he let me basically disassemble that thing. So I had a bore scope, magnifying glass, took it apart as much as we could on the counter. Everything looked great.
Yeah.
Took it home. Got some Vortex Precision rings, which I use a lot. And I got a scope. I won't name the name, but it's a good quality scope, Japanese glass.
Yeah.
They don't do any marketing. It's a bunch of shooters who have a company. Anyway.
Yep.
So I start to put this thing together. So the Tikkas have 5 mount holes on top of the receiver, right?
Yeah.
Each one of those was bunged up. I take out the little rubber plugs.
Yep.
And each one of them needed to be chased. And I'm thinking, like, this should not be happening with a Tikka.
No.
So I checked with the gun shop owner, and he said, no, that was straight out of the box. That was not a return.
Yep.
So anyway, then I open up my rings, and there's a bolt that's actually corroded in the ring.
Holy
brand new ring, fresh out of it. So then I get that sorted out, and then I mount my scope. And I'm really excited about this scope. I look through it. It is beautiful glass. It's a reticle that works really well for me. I mount this thing. I'm having trouble getting it level, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Somebody else will look. The reticle is askew.
Oh no.
And that scope costs as much as that rifle costs.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I got 3 strikes, man. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So I got it all worked out, but I'm thinking, in this day and age, and that's not incredibly expensive gear, but it's reasonable. I mean, that's a fair pile of cash to drop on that stuff. It's like, this should not be happening.
I'm seeing it everywhere, in everything. Vehicles, vehicle parts, the rifles, and it's all happened since 2020. And I think that, this is just my belief, I think that we all went into stress through all this crap that's been going on and still going on. And I think people haven't really, our awareness is coming in. It's not, people aren't very well, I don't think that, I think there's so much fear that it's like we put blinkers on ourselves, and there's so much stress around Yeah, and I don't think that. I think workmanship and people's interpersonal relations are going downhill. I'm seeing it with everything, and yeah, and even just in communication, people are very short. They're not. I'm not saying people are being selfish, but there is a self-focus, and a lot of those things that we had in our generation, which you were very customer focused, and you're wanting to help people and thinking of other people is a great way to think. How would I want to be treated? It's going, and it's all gone, and it's really sad. And I don't know if you could just go down to the gun store, pick something else up, and you'd be back to square one with the whole thing all over again. I don't think you can buy your way out of it. I think it's a sign of the times. And you just go for a drive in your car. I don't know what's like where you are. You go for a drive in your car, and you compare drivers now to 6 years ago. And I guarantee you, if you really think about it, it's different. Like, people they're not aware of what's going on around them. And you can blame the internet and all this. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe we are so bombarded by these little rabbit holes that we're going down on the internet, and we're so focused on these things that we're not, we're becoming introverted maybe. So then I start to look at it from more that perspective. Sorry, I don't look at it from that, because as you say, Tikka should be very, very high quality rifle. Even though it's a budget rifle, they mastered that CNC machining. So why isn't it? Well, there's a person at the end of that, isn't there? Why didn't that person do their job properly? Well, let's have a look at what's been going on the last so many years, and you just see it everywhere. I'm sure, do any of you disagree with that? Everyone's nodding their heads.
Yeah.
I see the same thing, exactly. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. And so then when you see that, and you've got two choices. You can start getting angry at people because people are being rude when you're dealing with them, and they're not, they're not actually engaging properly. Or you can say, I'm not going to be like that, and then you have to make an extra effort then to really not fall down into that trap. And we're marinated in fear at the moment, with this threat of this, threat of that, all the time, eh? If it's not one thing, it's another. And the only way through it, I think, is to actually, you can acknowledge that these things are out there, but you actually have to make that effort in yourself to do something different, to not because there's worries, but then the more we worry about things, it's think, oh, actually, am I contributing anything useful here? That's where I'm at anyway. Like the things I've seen, and then I'm at a point now where I think, well, I don't know the truth of anything. I'm not there, so I'm just going to do what I can to help out. But that doesn't mean actually being a doormat either. You've got to be firm in who you are. Yeah. So
it does have a kind of happy ending, this story. So I ended up also buying, and I had not seen these before. It's a Spartan, which I'm a little, I don't know if it's a New Zealand company or an English company. They're based in England, but they make bipods, and I bought this thing called the Springbok, which is telescoping legs, and it's got basically think of a spring bent into a U encased in silicon, and that's where the mount. So the thing is, for where I am, here in the mountains in Alaska, and we have a lot of really high, think of a meadow with 5 foot tall grass, right?
Yeah.
Lots of hill, very uneven terrain. So anyway, this thing is nimble. I wouldn't try to do precision work off of it, but I would think for production work, like culling or something, this thing would be killer. I really like this thing.
Good. Yeah, shooting in the areas with long grasses, it shows you nuts, doesn't it? Because You've got to get somewhere to get that rifle rested. If you have to shoot in the mountains, if you've got to take long shots, you've just got to find a way to do it. Yeah. Whether it's a tripod where you're just resting the rifle on the tripod, or whether it's some kind of long-legged bipod, yeah, or shooting sticks. Yeah.
I'm sitting in the tripods for when I get old. That's my
So did you get the Tikka shooting straight?
Yes. I've only fired 3 rounds through it. That's all I've got.
Okay.
The scope. Everybody. I sent emails, polite emails, but just expressing concern, and everybody could not do enough to make the situation right.
Good. Good.
And some of it too. You got the same thing. It's like, yeah, we're facing challenges we haven't traditionally faced, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, so I just got it all back together. So
good.
I think I think it's going to be a good shooter.
Excellent. So your magazine is not going to be very long, but you can find ways to work around that. It's going to be nice and light for what you're wanting to do. That particular.
In fact, I'm trying to heavy it up a little bit, actually. I mean, I don't mind. We've had this conversation before. That Sendero was like a 10-pound rifle, and that's my mountain gun. So I don't mind carrying weight.
Yeah.
I really don't. So I'm actually, I'm a tall, thin guy. So, and this thing's got quite a kick. So
yeah,
I don't mind adding some weight.
One of my guys turned up recently. I'd set up a 7mm mag for him, Tikka, some years ago, and he's a fencing contractor. We did our Polytech, our trade training together in dairy farming, and he's a fencing contractor now anyway. But he's a tough guy, and I said, "How's that Remington how's that Tikka going?" And he said, "I had to get rid of it." And I said, "Oh, why was that?" He says, "It was giving me concussion headaches," because he was starting to enjoy doing more practice and more long range shooting after I set it up for him. And I could understand, because when I set the rifle up for him and I was doing quite a bit of range work with it, there was a lot of recoil. It's just a T3 Light, the plastic stock, and it does. He was using the Superformance ammunition. And it does give you a headache after a while. So there's a lot of recoil there on that platform once you get into those more potent loads. Yeah, so I mean, one of the things you can do that would add a little tiny bit of weight without being significant, but would improve its grip a lot more, is that overmold, that 4-end overmold.
Yeah, I got that. I got
Good.
that. And I also I bought a can. So
well then once you got the suppressor, you're pretty much good to go. Yeah. As long as they don't cut that muzzle down, that's the big one. I mean, down to a 1/2-inch thread. You want to have the a 5/8 thread, but that rifle is your one pre-threaded, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be great. Yeah.
5/8.
Yeah, it's just what you want. It'll be nice. Just treat it carefully, look out for that carbon caking and all that sort of carry on, and follow those steps in the accurizing book. But yeah, it'll be lovely set up like that. Yeah.
Also, too, just a real quick comment. Hey, Vernon, keep the 358 stories coming. I love that cartridge.
Oh, I will have lots by the end of this season, that's for sure. I'm going to be using that as my deer gun. I plan on shooting my whitetails with it this year, and if there's an elk close enough, then maybe one of those too. Yeah.
I've been toting one of those around up here for 50 years, so absolutely love that cartridge. Also, too, let me just encourage you for a moment. Buy some snowshoes and go on your buffalo hunt.
Yeah.
Embrace the cold. You'll love it. You'll love it.
Yeah. So it's not so much myself, it's convincing somebody else to go with me.
Okay.
Because I'm all game, but it's too dangerous to go alone, because if something happened, you'd be wolf meat up there.
Yeah.
So, as far as the adventure, I'd certainly go on the adventure, but I need somebody to go with me.
Yeah.
My daughter's starting hunting this year. She's 29, and she's got her hunter training course. She's bought all her clothes. She's gone over the different cuts on the deer on how to cut it up, and then
lovely.
she's going she's going goose hunting with me probably in the next week or so. We're going to do a goose hunt. But she wants to get out there and get a deer this year. So maybe if she gets her deer, then we can go buffalo hunting or something.
True. Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, amazing. Absolutely incredible. That would be an amazing experience. Yeah. Wow. Do we have any other questions from anyone?
I got another question if there's time.
Yeah, that's fine, Isaac.
This is a Winchester Model 70, probably made in early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
It's 270 short magnum,
Yeah.
which I've never worked with before until now.
Yeah.
Done a little bit of loading with it. It's got a super short throat, almost you might say nose throat.
Yeah.
I think I used the 150 grain SST, and my cartridge overall length was within 4,000ths of the Sammy spec.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm getting over pressure with H4350 powder at 2,970 feet per second.
Shit. Yeah, that's pretty bad, isn't it? I mean, you could change to a slower burning powder, but I mean, really for that cartridge, you should be running a slower burning powder. But
Yes.
heck, that needs a bit of throat work by the sound of it. And that could be hand cut too, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it could probably just feed that in there,
a
but
reamer.
yeah, it could be done that way.
Right.
Yeah, so perhaps get a throating reamer for that and just hand cut it if you want to, but certainly sounds like it needs a clean up in there. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
now that's the problem with these new cartridges, these all the Hornady cartridges that have come out, is the throat width is only a half thou larger than bullet diameter. And then, of course, if that reamer gets worn, it comes down, and then that shortens the throat up as well, because your diameter affects the length.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
this is where you start seeing people, if you go online to try and get data on, see what other people are getting with their rifles and what to expect, you end up with this broad range of load lengths that people have been working to, because some of these rifles are no-throat rifles that they're put out by Ruger, and so yeah, it's quite a concern. This is through your Creedmoor, 6mm Creedmoor, and through to your PRCs as well. It's a bit of a concern. Yeah, so those kind of rifles need a clean up just with a standard throating reamer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
It's another problem I'm having with it too is after a couple of firings, my full length die, I think it's not sizing the shoulder narrow enough.
Yeah.
Like it's not that it's not being bumped back far enough, but it's too wide at the shoulder
Yeah.
to fit. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. It sounds like the whole thing's just too small.
Really tight.
Yeah. So in that case, you just put the whole reamer in there and just
Maybe,
yeah, and you just hand turn the headstock on the lathe. You wouldn't. Yeah. I mean, you could turn it on. But it's really just a touch. It sounds like it's all it's going to need. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just take it up to a looser headspace than it was, and just be okay with slightly loose headspace. But yeah, as long as the no-go gauge doesn't close on it. Yeah, it sounds like it needs a bit of work on it. All right. Sounds like you need a lathe.
Yeah. It could be a good practice rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to do that.
Well, the Winchesters had the longest magazine. Like that Browning that I worked on, that I talked about, do not work on Brownings, eh? That's got to be rule number one. But that Browning had a short magazine, they didn't make any efforts to lengthen the magazine, because the the short magnums aren't truly short, they're medium length case. And so your action has to be modified to actually suit a short magnum. And the magazine box needs some kind of alteration. But the Winchester Model 70 does have that modification in it. I mean, they're the ones that designed it. But I mean, Browning is owned, they're all under the same banner, but it just didn't translate into the Browning. But yeah, so it's a good receiver to hold on to if you want to have a short magnum of some sort.
Yeah, maybe a tree hunt, possibly. I'm not really a fan of the short magnum, to be honest. But
yeah, you can use them for a slight amount of weight reduction and a little bit of they can be a bit cheaper to run than a full-size Magnum. Because a 7mm WSM can be quite efficient. And then but then again, I talk about weight savings, but then a Model 70 action isn't exactly lightweight, is it? So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But yeah, interesting to work with. Yeah, sounds like it's going to need some work, that's for real. Yeah. You have any other questions from anyone?
Nathan, I'm working on another project.
Oh, sorry, wait just a minute, Vernon. Rick, have you got your microphone on? Write it on a piece of paper. I think you can tap it into the side, into the chat there. Maybe you could, there's a question there which is just beyond me at the moment. So, yeah. You should be able to just tap on the side. Oh. You can see that dial. Is that your question on the side there? Let's have a look. Sorry about this. And now this isn't working for me. Let's have a look. No. Marcos would like to participate. Yeah, I'm just trying to get this chat thing going. Sorry. Maybe if I can use an arrow key on it. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Rick. Can't seem to get audio to you. Random topic. Does anyone have any experience solving a light strike problem in a Bruno PSD? I don't have experience with that, sorry. It pierces level 3 body armour at 100 metres and it comes with a second barrel, 10mm, which works flawlessly. The 7.5 is giving me nothing but headaches. Yeah, no, you'll have to go, it'll need to go onto a bench by the sound of it, and if you can get to that gun shop in Louisiana and just see what they can do with it. Sorry about that, yeah, too much to go, yeah, without having something on the bench to actually go through. Yeah, yes. Now, sorry, what was your question, Vernon?
Yes. Did Marco have his question up first?
Long queue. Oh, okay, so you've got to wait for a while. Yeah, I think, oh, now we've got one from Marcos, is it? Let's have a look.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, hello, Marcos, how are you?
Question?
Yeah.
Fine, and you? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
I would like to know how the velocity of the bullet behaves in a slow versus fast pulling copper fluid.
You'll have to be a bit more specific with your question. You want, because the audio is a little bit rough, sorry. So, or your audio seems to be a little bit rough. So you want to know the difference between high velocity and low velocity impacts. For copper.
We can identify a slow or fast falling bore for copper by the velocity variation?
I can't hear that very well. Can any of you guys hear his audio? Because I'm having a hell of a time with it.
He's saying something about a fast versus a slow
Yeah,
fouling
there's a-
bore.
Slow fouling. Oh, fouling.
In a fast falling bore.
Oh, okay. With
Fast.
copper fouling. All right. So we've got a fast versus a slow fouling bore. Gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm having a hell of a time understanding.
Sorry.
No, it's not you, Marcus. It's actually the audio. It's a bit rough, and so that with
I
this.
am gonna write in the chat.
Okay, all right, that'll work. Sorry about that.
I'm going to.
Are you calling from Spain, Marcus?
Yeah, right. From Spain. Sorry
Okay.
for the pronunciation.
Yeah. All right, we'll see how that goes in the chat there and see if it comes up. Gosh. And in the meantime, how does the speed of the bullet behave? Slow versus fast fouling. Okay. It doesn't really affect the speed. If the barrel's fast fouling, it will pick up speed after the. Yeah, well, it can go either way, really. It's very hard to predict. But sometimes they'll pick up speed because there's more resistance and it will build up pressure. But the one you've really got to watch is if the bore's too shiny, and there's really low friction, and so you get this inconsistent resistance through the bore. But what tends to happen is there'll be points where it suddenly grabs, and that pressure can just build up dramatically, and it can push the speeds up over 100 feet per second, and it can even flatten your primers. It can lock up the whole action. There's a point where it's just so smooth that it becomes dangerous, because the two parts, what actually ends up happening is when it's smooth, you're actually increasing the contact area between the bullet and the bore. When it's rough, you've got all these little wee air pockets, so it's actually riding over that roughness. So it gets to a point where the two parts are so perfectly fitted that at first it starts traveling down the bore and it's moving quite easily, and then boom, it grabs, and so you end up with really high ES. It's not leaving the muzzle at the same moment in time, so accuracy is extremely poor, and then you have these sudden pressure spikes for no reason, and no matter what you do, even in downloading, you can't get rid of them, and it can be to the point where you're at sort of 70 to 90,000 psi, very dangerous. But so those are the absolute extremes. But otherwise, if it's on the other side of it, if it's fast fouling, there will be a difference in velocity from the first to second shot. So it pays to fire that first shot, get that barrel fouled, and then put some kind of protective coating over it. If it's going to be used for hunting soon, put a protective coating over it which doesn't have a solvent in it. Yeah, so for you that might be something like, well, Ballistol, I mean that doesn't really have a strong solvent action. They call it a solvent, but it's not. You put that over the top of that copper fouling, and then just before your next hunt, just remove most of it with just one or two dry swabs, and then that should keep those velocities consistent. Hopefully that helps, Marcus. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, it's just perfect. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Well, guys, unless there's something you want to share, and we might just call it quits.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. So you know where I am, Isaac. I'm not far away. So, yeah, cool. All right.
Thanks, Nathan.
Yeah, you're most welcome, Vernon. Good luck with your 35 projects. Yeah,
It's really interesting, guys. Thank you. Yeah.
cool. All right. Well, till the next time, guys.
Cheers, Nathan.
Awesome.